Start with this. Prosecutors have one more witness to call tomorrow in the murder trial against Chad Daybell. Today, a phone call from 2020 between Chad and his wife, Lori Vallow Daybell, was played in court today. The call was made while Lori was in the Madison County Jail, the day before law enforcement found her children, JJ and Tylee, buried on Chad's property. And our Morgan Romero was in the courtroom while jurors heard this recording, and she joins us in studio. Morgan?
Brenda, a recording of the call from June 8th, 2020 was played while Rexburg Police Detective Ray Hermosillo was back on the stand. As the lead detective on the case, he was the first to testify during Chad's trial, and he was recalled today. In the call played for jurors, Chad tells Lori he was texting with Ray. Hermosillo discovered through his investigation Lori's brother Alex Cox was referred to as a person named Ray LeMar. Alex was dead at that time, but Hermosillo told jurors Chad claimed he could talk to the dead. In the call, Chad and Lori say Ray is the, quote, contractor over their house renovation project, and their, quote, blueprints are still intact. Chad tells Lori that Ray is very optimistic and advises they stick with it. Hermosillo points out Lori is asking Chad for assurances that the project is going to work out, and Chad is the one who said he'd seen the plan, that it's been shown to him. That plan was meant to have complications at some point. Here's a portion of that call, which was not played during Lori's trial.
Well, I think we sensed that we shouldn't take it lightly, and I don't think we did. I mean, we only discussed the matter with the trouble once, and I thought we cut it off and did well, and now that problem is kind of causing its own trouble for itself.
Right. But there's other things in the project where when I'm going back over it, right, that I could have easily done or been inspired to do to avoid a lot of the issues that are going to come up with that.
Yeah.
That we weren't made aware of. So you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I do.
It was meant to go this way, you think, is what I'm saying.
I do. It's terrible. Minor changes here and there, but overall, this was part of the blueprint.
Again, this call happened the day before JJ and Tylee's bodies and remains were found buried on Chad's property. An investigator with the Idaho Attorney General's office went over his investigation into the attempted shooting of Tammy Daybell on October 9th, 2019, and then her death 10 days later. Nicholas Edwards presented summaries of communication between Chad, Lori, and Lori's brother, Alex Cox. He showed jurors that they were texting around the time Tammy had been shot at and when she died. Edwards also told jurors Alex went to the gun range several times that month and researched topics including how to clean an AR and making a homemade silencer. Prosecutors will likely rest their case tomorrow, followed by Chad's defense presenting his case. We don't know when exactly he will start or how long that will take. Brenda?
Yeah, and Morgan, for those that are just tuning in now, can you give us that reminder? What does it mean when you say they will rest their case? So
it's on the prosecution to present a case, right? They have the burden of proof to prove these allegations. And so they're the ones that have been presenting all the evidence and calling all the witnesses that have been presenting testimony. Of course, the defense asks questions in cross-examination, then it always typically ends with prosecutors in their redirect. So that phase of the trial, which has lasted for several weeks, will be completed, and then John Pryor, Chad's defense attorney, is expected to call his own witnesses as well. Again, don't know exactly what day that will start or how long that will take. Once he presents all of that, then they go into deliberation. They present a verdict, the jurors that is, and after that, if Chad Daybell is convicted, there will be that 1 to 2 week long penalty phase to determine whether or not he will get the death penalty in this case, Brenda.
And are we still on track? I mean, we've talked about that timeline. Are we still on track to finish on time?
We are. They estimated 8 to 10 weeks. We do expect this to go another 2 to 4 weeks. Again, it's all guessing here. We'll see once Pryor gets into his case how long it will last, and we'll see how long it'll take for the jury to deliberate. It was very quick in Lori Vallow Daybell's trial. It only lasted about a day and a half for deliberations, and then that verdict came down. But of course, Daybell's case is longer because the death penalty is on the table. So we are expecting to wrap up in the beginning of June still.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Morgan. You can find all this information again on our website at ktvb.com.